Why do people get addicted to things? Well, it's because when they love a feeling, it can create a habit through repetition, and then they miss it when it's gone. And that feeling is what you want to create with your YouTube videos if you want to build a red hot community of return viewers who then go on to buy your thing. So in this video, I'm going to show you my 5-step process that I've been using inside of videos for years now to bring millions of people back to my content over and over again. And it didn't work once, it worked here, it worked here, it worked here. Okay, so before we get onto the steps, why is what I'm about to show you so incredibly powerful? Well, have you ever really craved chocolate, gone to your secret stash, opened the drawer, and there's nothing left, just a sad little chocolate rice cake that you've been ignoring since 2015? You get disappointed, right? Because you wanted a Mars bar, not a lecture. That's the same feeling your viewers get when your video doesn't match what they thought they were clicking on. And when that happens, they don't watch your video, and then they don't watch even more, and they don't come back. And if that happens, you won't make any sales. But when your video does match their expectations, they think, oh yes, this is exactly what I love. And if you can create that feeling over and over and over again, you just build yourself a drawer full of never-ending chocolate viewers binge on, and that is the secret to sales and views. So to show you how to create this effect in every single video you make, I'm going to walk you through a demo channel in the recruitment space. Now, their avatar is 45. They're stressed about not having enough money to retire on, and that's it. We'll just leave it there. Okay, so step 1 of this system is absolutely critical because if you get this wrong, nothing else will work. And it's down to the fact that YouTube isn't just for teenagers anymore. It's overtaken Netflix and it's growing insanely fast, meaning your potential clients who might be, say, age 40 plus, are not going to click the same kind of videos that a 20-year-old or an 18-year-old or a 15-year-old would watch. And most of the YouTube education out there is telling you to make what works for those youngsters who binge on entertainment, not businessy kind of content, right? Now, what that means for you is you don't just do exactly what you've been told to do and copy what works from other people's channels and bring that over to your own. Because imagine if our demo channel went and copied, say, this video just because it had so many views. A 50-year-old who we're after ain't clicking on that. It looks like it's packed full of E-numbers. They're clicking on this though. This is Azul. He exploded to 100,000 subscribers really quick because he didn't copy what worked for the wrong people. He copied what worked for his people. And then he just did more and more of it. So in step 1, all you do is you match the style of your thumbnail to the expectations and desires of your actual buyers. And that can mean no glowing effects, no neon text, no funky backgrounds, just simple, clear visuals that feel familiar and trustworthy, especially if your audience is a bit older. And you'll know when you've nailed this because you're going to get more views and your audience tab is going to show you the right age group watching your content. This tab on YouTube is one of the most important sections in the studio as far as I'm concerned for a business. Now, step 2, this is absolutely critical for getting people to come back, and that's how you generate sales, and it works like this. So let's say you've nailed step 1, we've made a really great looking thumbnail, our audience is gonna love, it's high quality, it's clean, it's classy, and then a viewer comes along and they click play and they get this. This is an instant disconnect. Viewers clicked on a Mars bar and they got given a rice cake. And when that happens, your viewers' trust's instantly gone and it's very hard to get back. So what should you do instead? Well, you've probably seen creators with really sketchy looking thumbnails and like 0 production quality. And you've wondered, how on earth are they getting so many views? It doesn't make sense when I'm putting in so much work. Well, one big reason is because their viewers see that scraggly looking thumbnail and then they hit play and the content and the scraggliness of the thumbnail is in line. The packaging matches the product, so they stay. So what should you do? Go high end or keep your production quality all scrappy looking? Well, again, it kind of depends on who you're trying to attract. So what you want to do is you want to ask yourself this: what kind of production quality would appeal to the people I want to work with or to sell my products to? So for our retirement channel example, do you think a 55-year-old who's worried about their pension wants advice from someone in a neon hoodie in a glowing pink gamer cave style studio, or from someone who's sitting behind a mahogany desk? Let me know which one you would trust more in the comments. It's probably going to be a bit of a mix, but really this step is about consistency of expectation from the moment they click. So you want to test, you want to adjust, and you want to refine over time to figure this out. But always try to make sure you're matching your setup to that style that builds trust with your buyer and is the most in line with your thumbnail and title, which moves us on to step 3. And this one has to work in harmony with your thumbnail, your setup, your format, if you want to meet your viewers' expectations and keep them coming back to the chocolate drawer. And to show you how this plays out in real life, I'm going to show you 2 videos in the same niche that both racked up serious views, but take completely different approaches. So here's our first clip.
Work less, earn more, enjoy life. That's my motto. That's my value proposition.
All right, second clip.
the blueprint to becoming a millionaire, and I'm gonna walk you through the levels to becoming one. Level 1 is the fundamentals of wealth creation, and we're gonna start with...
Both of these videos blew up, but how is Dan Coe, who barely moves, speaks like he just woke up from a nap, no offense Dan, and breaks a bunch of the usual presenting rules, can compete with someone like, well, Mosey, who's kicking down your door with energy? Well, again, it all comes down to audience expectations. So not everyone wants a song and dance. Some people just want to listen to someone who speaks clearly and calmly and allows them to think. So even though Dan's way more calm, he still nails the foundations of great content because he's always using stories, frameworks, and simplification. But the takeaway from this is your presentation style has to match the type of video you're making and the expectations you've set with your thumbnail, title, and format. So for our demo retirement channel, we got to think, what kind of presenter do you expect to see when you click play on that? Someone who's calm and collected, or someone who radiates confidence, or some guy cracking jokes, using props and dancing? And there's not necessarily a right and wrong answer. And I think if you comment below which one you'd rather see, we'll probably see that. Okay, so this next start of the process is going to save you from one of the biggest YouTube mistakes out there, chasing a flat, perfect retention line. Yeah, the thing everyone tells you to get and obsess over. I used to chase that too, but let's go back a couple of years. So back then, my videos were all about inspiration, motivating the viewers so they got to the end and they felt good. And I hoped that that would make them want to watch another one because it was like educational crack. But to do that, you had to make the info really kind of light, and I'd throw in lots of cinematic B-roll and emotional music and fancy transitions and effects, and the retention graph looked like this. And every now and then I would get retention so flat, it would look like someone drew it with a ruler in sections. But now my videos do this. And that has played a critical part in my business's profit soaring because I'm not trying to keep everyone happy now. I'm intentionally making videos that turn the wrong viewers away. It's why at the start of every video I say businesses or sales and products, because the majority of people in the YouTube space who should still be tempted to click on a video that is YouTube businessy, it will put them off because they hate those words and they don't want anything to do with it. But my ideal clients, they go, that's exactly what I want. It sounds great. So they stay. So now I produce the total opposite of what I used to, and I've banned music, I've banned sound effects, zooms, cinematic reroll. I literally pay Greg, who edits for me, not to edit for me as much. Sorry, Greg, I know it's boring, but it's better for mankind we do it this way. So if you're panicking because your intro's dropped hard, just ask this instead. Did I get more comments? Did I get more shares? Did I get more email signups or product sales? And if the answer is yes, then what are you worrying about? The video worked. That graph can really trap you into making mass market content. Really, a healthy decline is not that big a deal. It's actually a good thing sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong. I still check my retention graph because it can give me some other clues. And I still do want to see flat bits here and there. And I still do want to learn from it. But if you focus on it too much, it tricks you into making content for the masses instead of making content for your one dream client. And if you're building a business, that's the difference between struggling and scaling. So for our retirement channel, I'm saying no stock footage, no music, no flashy cuts, boring ass looking videos. I'm gonna use some text on screen, basically what you're seeing right now. Which brings us on to our next step, which if you want people to keep coming back and you want those viewers turning into leads and sales, this part is a non-negotiable. So let me show you how I'm doing it on this very channel that you're watching right now. So when I pivoted from my old channel Film Booth, which you can see here, I wasn't just tweaking my strategy. I was starting from scratch because I was after a new audience, I'm after a new age group, and they have new problems. And if I want to create that chocolate door effect, I need to go on a discovery mission to figure out, well, what does this audience actually want? So for 6 weeks, I doubled up my output, as you can see here, and I started testing formats like a man possessed. And when I say formats, I mean the style of the video. So I did a deep dive, like this one. I did a fast listicle like this, did some roasts, personal backstory stuff. I did some short process videos like this. But after that, I didn't need to guess what to make any more of because I was looking at the data, I was reading the comments, I was trying to work out what do you guys love about those things that I've produced, but also what brought in the leads, what got return viewers, what actually built the business. Then when I had that data, I just did more of what worked. Now I use tracking software to see which formats bring in the most sales. It's pretty much impossible to play this YouTube game without it. Join the income tracking train in the description. Choo choo. Oh no, that's bad. Still gonna workshop that slogan. But here's the thing. If you find one thing that works, you can't just repeat it over and over again forever, because eventually what happens is your viewers will feel like they're eating the same chocolate over and over again. And what happens when you do that? Well, they eventually get bored of it. And you'll see the impact of this on channels who blew up with one particular format and then just used it over and over again. Eventually their views get less and less and less. So here's how you avoid that. Your goal should be to find 3 to 4 formats that work And then you rotate them on the channel. These become your go-to content types that you know your viewers love, that always bring people back, and you just keep doing the same thing and over again. But in between those staples, you experiment. So you try something weird, you try something new, you try something a bit crazy. You don't have to do that. The idea is you're looking for one to hit, and then boom, you've got a new repeatable format or something better to replace one that's going stale. This is how you evolve a channel while staying fresh and familiar at the same time and build long-term viewership that actually grows a business. Now, here's the part most people get wrong. They expect to figure all of this out in like 30 days, just like I did. But I can only do that fast because I've been studying YouTube daily for flipping years, and I work with hundreds of businesses, and we all share stuff in my community, so I know the patterns to repeat and the signs to look for. For most people without this, you need to expect to make about 50 videos before you really lock in the format stack. So for our retirement channel, who's starting brand new, I'm going to test a quick fire listicle because these can skyrocket in views. I'm going to try a long process, heavy deep dive because these are amazing for conversions. I'm going to put out some timely news reaction videos because news drives channels really fast. And I'm maybe going to make some short like how-to formats just to round it out. And then I'll see what happens and double down on what works. So now you understand why viewer expectations matter so much and how breaking the rules could grow your business faster. You need to learn how to find formats to test and then build your channel around so you can establish the best way to do each of these things I've just shown you. So watch this video next, where I'm going to show you how to build $1 million content strategy step by step so that you can literally just copy it. Chocolate talk's getting me hungry. Oh, flipping rice cake.